It is Auntie B, Positivity. I have missed you. I hope you guys are well. And today's episode is going to be a little different. It's going to be just a solo episode. I like to do a lot of video journaling because I sometimes don't take the time to sit down and write it out. But I have videos of me in college and in high school just kind of talking to myself about where I'm at in life and how I'm feeling and my progress. And I feel like that would be a great thing for me to incorporate on my podcast. And if you hate that, don't watch this video. It's not going to hurt my feelings. But I think that sometimes it's nice to share and reflect on where you're at in life. And hopefully some of us can share those same feelings and hypothesize how we can get out of them together. So besides this being kind of like a journal video, today is going to be a discussion of how I became April's Fool. Okay, and that's kind of the play on April Fool's Day, which is April 1st, for anyone that doesn't know. And April 1st, I made a post, if you follow me on Instagram, at Aunty B Positivity, Aunty with TY. And it was just a challenge that was supposed to be for April, 30 days just to recalibrate me, right, on kind of my wellness journey. And I have my phone out right here so I can tell you what the challenge was. Foreshadowing, there's a problem that I don't remember what the challenge was. Okay, today is Saturday, April 27th. Fingers crossed I'll upload this in April, but y'all just be proud of me that I'm recording today. So the challenge had 4 parts. I called it the KTY 30, which was kind to yourself 30. And hopefully you guys will see a lot of my videos, a lot of my reels with be kind to yourself, because I want that to be my theme, my theory, my ethos, right? Life is so hard. The most simple thing you can do is give yourself grace and be kind to yourself. So I thought this would be a cute little soft challenge to do. And it was 30 minutes of movement daily. 30 minutes of movement, however you wanted, right? Lifting weights, going to a yoga class. I put cleaning up because you be breaking a sweat when you really get into deep cleaning. So any sort of movement, but it was just 30 minutes every day. 6 hours or more of sleep every night. I did this for me. I don't know if y'all need that, the reminder, the stressor, but my sleep, I'm not a person who has insomnia. I don't struggle sleeping, but I was getting 4 to 5 hours a night for months. Why? What am I doing? Why am I up? Go to bed. So I put that there so I could prioritize my sleep. And then the other one was stick to your macronutrients daily. Some people don't like calorie counting. Some people get really overwhelmed by it. Some people don't like the idea of a diet. So whatever you wanted your nutrition to look like, be consistent with that for 30 days. And then learn something new every day. A new skill, take 5 minutes, 10 minutes. If it's a new language, if it's like learning how to crochet or get better at your hobby, which is like painting or something. I wanted to get better at editing videos and I watched a few videos on that. So just take a short period of time every day for self-improvement. Spoiler alert, I didn't do this. I think I checked all 4 boxes maybe 3 times in the month of April, which is heartbreaking to me. And I think that's kind of the whole point of I want this conversation to be. What happens when we set ourselves up for challenges or goals, and how do we stay disciplined, right? Because we all know that discipline and motivation are different. Motivation is, I got up today, I want to work out, I feel so good, feel good about myself, I'm gonna heal my body. And discipline is like, I feel crappy today, I'm so tired, I want to lay in bed and rut, but I do this, I work out, I show up for myself, I meal prep, and then you do it anyway, right? And I think there's a balance to that, right? Because again, we're just going to tangent today. I don't have any outlines, so we're going to talk until y'all don't want to listen to me anymore. There's a balance of the hamster wheel, right? Where it's like, I always have to work. I always have to work out. I always have to stay within my macros because we're like, I think society is now attached to a wellness epidemic. We're so excited about wellness. We're so excited to work out and share working out. We're so excited to share our meal plans for the day. We're so excited to be going to therapy and getting help. I'm all about it, okay? Get the wellness, record your workouts, girl. I want to see your outfit, son, when you at the gym. So, but I think there's so much aesthetic about wellness, and we kind of forget we just want to be well. Like, being on the hamster wheel for me, like this month, I wanted to post every day, at least one of these things, and that became so exhausting so quickly. And we all still have life happening. I have 2 parents who are older who are pretty sick, and that is just, it's kind of always a lingering stress, right? In the back of my head of thinking how I can support them or show up for them, or I'm getting calls from doctors and hospitals that you have to figure it out for. I'm not worried about meal prepping if I need to go talk to the admin, you know what I'm saying, for my dad's hospital. So I think we all have to take into account on this hamster wheel of wellness and don't this is just the wellness hamster wheel. There's the career hamster wheel. There's the friendship hamster wheel. There's the romantic relationship like wheel. So there's so many categories of life where we want to be great at and be wonderful at. And social media, while I think connects us, right, creates so much comparison. And I think, I'm sure you heard it before, comparison is a thief of joy. And I fall victim to this all the time. I'm like, oh, I want to work out like them. I want to go viral like they do. Oh, well, I'll never be as good at that hobby as they are. You know, I wish I had a side hustle, a grind. Then I can go get me one. I can go find what I enjoy, what I want to do. But I'm so focused on scrolling and liking and shaming myself that I'm not pouring into me. So I think this month I did take a larger step back than intended from social media, but that also took away my accountability. So for me, it's this ping pong game of, yeah, social media has a lot of bad stuff on it and a lot of comparison and a lot of just like envy and nasty stuff that's going on in the world. But for me, this is such a phenomenal community and it's so supportive. And my friends are my followers, right? My friends are resharing when I post a reel or resharing when I post a podcast or like, hey girl, haven't seen any content in a while. How are you doing? That is so good for me. And it is like accountability in the most beautiful way possible. So will I probably do another challenge? For sure. For sure. Am I going to do one right now? Probably not. I think that I need to figure out what my wellness priorities are before I start saying it needs to be all of these things. I will say, let me bring this back up. Out of the four, I did prioritize sleeping more. And my sleep average, I think, because I like wear Apple Watch when I go to bed usually, is like 6 hours and 50 minutes a night, which is over an hour of what it was like at the end of last year. So I definitely know that improvement is possible if you prioritize it, right? And it's not that I was out raging or up late working all night. I was scrolling. I was watching an extra show. I was going to get me a little late night sweet treat, you know, as opposed to going to bed. So that's kind of something that I've been struggling with to get together in terms of feeling like I have sufficient sleep. And that has been really, really good. But then my nutrition hasn't really been that great. Not that I've been eating terribly. I've just not been eating consistently. So I'm eating really big meals at night, or I'm missing breakfast, or I have a hearing, so I'm in court for 9 hours and I haven't brought like a snack, right? So I think that my Goliath just in nutrition is food and how I eat. And it's something we're always going to work on. Another kind of thought loop I have, right, when I was thinking about me being April's Fool is how dare I post about fitness and wellness and my back is still big? Why is my back still so big? And we are not body shaming here. I'm not body shaming myself. I think I am beautiful and wholesome and wonderful and hilarious. But it is hard to feel like you're working on something for a long time. If you look at any of my social media, your girl be in the gym. Okay, I go see my doctor, I get my blood work done regularly, and it just feels like I'm not making any progress. In fact, sometimes, depending on the way the scale is looking that day, I feel like I'm regressing, and it's hard to find motivation in regression, right? It's hard to feel like I'm doing this, this, and this. If 1 + 1 is 2, and 2 + 2 is 4, what the hell is this, right? That's how I feel a lot of times when it comes to wellness. But I think the reality is it's always going to be a part of your life, right? You don't just lose. Like a few years ago, I went through like a really deep depression, lost like 50 pounds. Most of it's back on. I didn't lose it in a healthy way. I didn't lose it in a way that was maintainable. And you can think what you want about, you know, body size and body composition or whatever. But I think that every human, no matter what size, benefits from movement, benefits from having good nutrition, benefits from having a sufficient amount of sleep. And I think because our lives are so dynamic, that's always something we're going to have to focus on and always something we're going to have to prioritize. So I guess I just wanted to share that it's okay if you also feel stuck, if you also don't see the results of your efforts, if you don't see the results of your consistency. It doesn't mean you should just stop doing it, right? We're always trying to finagle and figure out how we can be a good version of ourselves. I want to say the best version of ourselves, but that's a high bar. Okay, I don't know if I'll ever achieve the best version of myself, but I'm working on progressing the version that I have right now. She's pretty dope. I like her, but it could be better. My health could certainly be better. I think that my self-confidence could be better, because as much as I think physically or whatever I like that, or I have a good attitude. There are a lot of points in life where I don't feel confident, and that bleeds over into other things and relationships in my life. So just because I say it with my chest don't mean I feel it with my chest all the time. So just know that you are not alone if you feel stuck in whatever journey you're on. If you feel stuck in your job, I feel you. If you feel stuck in whatever romantic season of life you're in, I feel you. If you feel stuck in your financial journey, I feel you. Because life is not going to stop lifing, right? So now that we kind of have why I'm April's Fool, because I've made this challenge, and if you look on my page, baby, that's the last post. No updates, no reels from the gym, no meal plans, because I really fell off within like the first week of April, and that is embarrassing and not ideal. But if I don't share this, then I'm just hiding behind, I could have been doing it and they just don't know. I just took off social media. I wasn't doing it. I didn't go to the gym every day. I definitely wasn't calorie counting after that first week. Doesn't mean I won't, and doesn't mean I can't get back on it. But in terms of this challenge, it was an L. And we got to take those sometimes. We got to take them, and I'm trying to take it with as much grace as possible. And I did not want to do this. I did not want to sit down today and record this video. I don't feel like it's well planned. I feel like it's kind of chaotic, but I'm chaotic sometimes, so it's life. But I didn't want to stay in my rut, right? And that's something I also struggle with, is once I have a high point of anxiety or a panic attack or some life thing happens to kind of derail me, then I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'll just panic nap it away. I'll just take me a couple panic naps for a few days. But then I get stuck in that, and I'm like, well, if I don't have to do it, I'm not doing it. I have to go to work, so I do that. I have to eat to survive, so I do that. But there, excuse me, there are very few things I prioritize when I feel stuck in a rut. And something that I wasn't going to prioritize was making a podcast today, but I am doing it. And I'm so glad that I'm showing up. And again, a reminder, it doesn't have to be your best. Sometimes you just have to do it. Sometimes you just have to make the content. Sometimes you just have to write the thing for work, even if you don't love it. Sometimes you just have to post a video. Sometimes you just have to ask that other person out on the date because they're not taking your hints. And your best today is your best. And that is something I really, really struggle with, because I, at heart, am a perfectionist, and I only want to produce good stuff, and I only want to show up for my best, and I only want to say the right thing all the time. I say the wrong thing every day, and I'm literally a lawyer. I say the wrong thing to someone every day, and the amount of times I have to apologize or recalibrate or ask someone how to phrase something, I go crazy. But just reinforcing that we're all human beings and we're all doing our best. And your best today could be 25% of your best in life, right? And your best tomorrow could be 90%. It doesn't mean today you didn't do your best, because 20% is what you had. So show up with the bandwidth and the capacity that you have, and don't allow your mind to steal your actions forever. I think everybody has their own mental health. Everyone has the way they cope with stress and with life, and honestly with failure, right? And I don't mean failure of like you failed this giant life test or you lost your job, but I think we all have goals, whether we have articulated them or not, and when we don't achieve them in the timeline that we have mentally created for ourselves, it feels like a failure. It feels like we've let ourselves down, and that's cool. That's cool if you feel that way. You might have in that moment, but it doesn't mean you can't achieve that later. And I remind myself of this every day, right? I will have a 30-minute long breakdown, boo-hoo crying. I can't do nothing right. Everything's going wrong. My job won't be let go, and I don't got no money, and I just can't keep it, man. You see that? About the real tear with my fake breakdown. Anyway, and at the end of every one of my journal videos, I'm like, but I'm still alive. And if I'm alive, I have hope. I should stop the pod right there. If you are alive, you have hope, because you have the ability to change. You have the ability to make different choices in the future. You have the ability to appreciate different aspects of your life in the future. So the longer you stay in your rut, honey, you can't appreciate a change. Again, stay in it. Experience it. I'm not telling you should never cry. Have a breakdown every day if you need to. I'm affirming that. But just know that you are still capable. If you're stuck, if you have failed, if you have been let go, if you have been broken up with, if you have been spoken down to, if you have been discriminated against, you gonna figure something out, baby. And I'm not saying it's easy. When people tell me like, oh, there's so many positive things in your life. Okay, but I'm worried about the bad stuff right now. Worry about the bad stuff, stress about it, and acknowledge it, but know that you can handle it. Okay, might not be today, might not be tomorrow, might be with some help, might be with alone, but you can get through it. And as long as you remember that if you got that oxygen flowing in you, you got you a little chance. You got you a little chance to razzle dazzle it up. Guys, I really think that that's all I wanted to say today. I wanted to sit down and say that I'm April's Fool. I felt really stuck. I have felt really disappointed in myself and not showing up for myself, especially in the fitness way that I want to. I feel like I've kind of taken a step back in my engagement at my job, really stepped up in engagement with my dad, which has just been draining. So, just a reminder that we all go through seasons, and Auntie B Positivity is doing her best to be her best for today and make decisions for today. And the last thing I kind of wanted to talk about is that we always want the perfect time to start. I'm gonna start looking for a job next week. I'm gonna start looking for a job after they deny my next raise. I'm gonna start dating, for the summertime because I don't want to start right now. There's never a perfect time to begin something, generally. I mean, obviously, if there's deadlines and stuff, that is what it is. But, I started till April 1st to start this. I could have started on March 20th. I could start this challenge again tomorrow. So just don't wait for the perfect day because you're never going to be perfectly ready to make a change, right? If you read books like Atomic Habits, I'm reading Essentialism right now, which is like the art of saying no so you can be better at the things you want to do and say yes to. If you read any of these self-help books, I hate that kind of terminology, but that's what they are. Rome wasn't built in a day. It doesn't all start today. And everyone is like, take on a little bite-sized piece. Say no to something you know that you cannot do well, right? Add a habit to something that you already have in your life. So if you wake up every day and you spread your bed and stretch for 5 minutes, you know what I'm saying, before you fluff your pillows or something. It's always this tiny little bite-sized piece that then builds up and builds up and builds up. And next thing you know, you done made your little change. So yeah, just be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. I am also trying to be kind to myself and be patient with myself and remind myself that I have hope and that I have change and I can change. And while I don't like the phrase of it could always be worse, whoever you are living in a season of life at some point you didn't think you would get to. If that's the job you're in, the relationship you're in, the maturity that you have, the financial situation that you're in, we have all somehow overcome all of our worst days. Somehow, every worst day of your life that you have had thus far, you're here today, right now. And for that, number one, I'm so grateful. I'm so proud of you that you woke up today and that you are trying in whatever capacity that you can try today. So when you feel like it is getting super, super, super tough, remind yourself that you have gotten through the toughest days of your life, right? Me and my college best friend used to say, whenever we get whelmed or family drama is happening or we have work deadlines, I don't know how we're going to do it, but it's going to get done because it's always gotten done. And if you miss a deadline, something else is going to get done, right? Most things are not the end of the world. Getting your car repossessed is not the end of the world. Having to file for bankruptcy is not the end of the world. With my job, losing custody of your kid is not the end of the world because you can get it back. There are a few things where it is truly as dramatic as our emotions make us feel. And that is not to minimize our emotions because I feel like that happens to me a lot and I hate that. But to take your emotions in their emotional bucket, but then your analytical bucket is like, this is so hard, but I'm not going to die. Like I'm going to get through this and I'm going to figure it out, even though it feels super sucky right now. Equally with like your highs in life, enjoy them, embrace them, write them in your journal, make a video journal, call your mama and tell her if you can and want to. But there's going to be rough times too. So like, this is life. Right now, I feel like mine is, you know what I'm saying? We down at the bottom of the ocean, but there are peaks. There are peaks. So take everything a day at a time. As always, 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 be kind to yourself. I'm here online or offline if you need a friend to call and cry to be a support system, to look for a therapist for you, to edit your resume. Call me, okay? DM me, whatever needs to be done. I think one of the worst feelings in the world is feeling like you're alone and that nobody cares that you're here and that there is no support system for you. And as long as I got breath in my body, honey, you don't have to feel that way. So take care of yourself, be nice to yourself, and I will do another podcast before the end of 2024. That's all I can promise now. We got a lot of months left, but I'm so glad that I took the time to sit down and record this. I'm going to post it. I promise you I'm going to post it, even if I hate this later. It is just about getting the content out sometimes. It is just about doing it sometimes. I'm saying this for myself more than I am for you. But yes, be kind to yourself, give yourself grace. You deserve all of the good things. Bye, friends.